What's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Serge. Today we're actually going to talk about how cancer actually changed my life. So we're going to actually backtrack about 12 years ago. Let's backtrack to August of 2006. The reason why I'm backtracking to August 2006 is because that's when my appendix ruptured. I was in the hospital for about a week. I was 11 years old at the time. I turned 12 in October, and then in November I was diagnosed with cancer. The reason why I bring up the story of my appendix rupturing was because as a kid I was worried that if I told my parents I was coughing out blood, all this stuff, I would just stress them out more, and I didn't want to go back to the hospital. And I knew if I would have told them, I was going to end up back in the hospital. So I decided to wait off until the next day when my teacher had approached me, which was November 30th. And November 30th is when, during lunchtime, one of my teachers came up to me and said, "Serge, you look really pale. Are you feeling fine?" I said, "Yeah, I'm feeling great." And I wasn't feeling fine. I was feeling very fatigued and weak. And she told me to go to the nurse's office. And so I went to the nurse's office. From there, she called my parents right away. Didn't even give me time to pack up any of my stuff, and sent me off to the hospital. It wasn't until later that night that my mom and my sister were told that I was diagnosed with cancer. And I remember very clearly my mom just started bawling. I didn't know what to think. For me, I was like, oh great, it's gonna be like when my appendix ruptured. I'll just be in the hospital for a little while. I did not know what cancer was. I was super naive to that. And so they ended up transporting me to the St. Louis Children's Hospital that same night. They did about 3 weeks of treatment, just very vigorous treatment, and I lost all my hair. I was really sick. I had to learn how to walk again because I was bedbound for a long time, and all my muscles, right, they weren't being activated. So anytime I would walk, I would just fall, or I wouldn't even walk, I would just fall. And so I had to do physical therapy, had to learn how to walk again. And from then on, I had to go every week to the St. Louis Children's Hospital every Friday for a year straight and do treatment. So I would get treatment, and then I did treatment for 4 years. And so the second year I went every month, and then the third year I would go every 3 months, and then the last year I went for every 6 months. So that's how they broke it down, for me at least. I get asked a lot, like, what was it like? What was it like being sick? And so the best way to put it is like take the flu times 100, right? I just was miserable. Like, I would not eat anything, and that's why they give me steroids to like increase my appetite. So, and that's why I would gain weight. I would just be like fluff. Like, I would just be bloated. And it just taught me a lot going through that, because I was on the verge of death. I was getting so sick all the time, and I was so dehydrated. Even just the treatment itself would make me feel some kind of way. I would lose like my taste buds. I would always like just increase saliva in my mouth, and so I was like having to spit a lot. It was just weird. Like, I had just really terrible symptoms, and I would be like really itchy. And then what I would also do is I would have a spinal tap, right? And that is where they would go in the bottom of my spine, and they would put a big needle in the back of my spine. Keep in mind, like, if I would have moved or something would have happened, I actually, like, one of the complications is actually me going paralyzed. Every time I would do the spinal tap, that was one of the complications that would always be brought up. Now, with all that said, guys, the reason why I tell this story is because I actually want to talk about how God was able to get me through that and give me the strength to get through that. And I want to give him all the glory and all the praise for helping me get through that. And that's my story of how I faced death and how I was really sick and I beat cancer, and I'm so grateful for that. And here I am today talking to you guys. With God by my side, I'm always gonna win. I'm always gonna, regardless if it goes my way or not, there's a reason for it happening, and there's a reason for everything literally in my life and the way everything is lined up. And that's why I say, guys, do not let fear ever stop you from doing what you want to do, because life is way too short. You'll never know what might happen. You might get diagnosed with cancer tomorrow. Something may happen. The fact that I got a second chance to live my life and a second chance to be here, I want to be the best person that I can possibly be, and I want to be able to do everything I set my mind to. And if I don't do it, I want to at least try it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. What's the worst that could happen, right? You go back to whatever it was that you were doing before. That's fine. Like, but if you're not progressing, and that's, for me, progressing is success. Like, if I'm not progressing every single day, if I'm not doing something every single day to better myself, I'm failing. I'm failing myself, and I'm failing the second chance that I got. It changed my perspective when it comes to my health, right? My health is so vital to me, and I take fitness so seriously because of that. Because I, at one point, wasn't able to walk, guys. Like, I was so sick, and I wasn't healthy at all. I wasn't healthy enough to do what I wanted every single day. So I don't take that for granted. I don't take any of my health for granted. And then I also don't take any day for granted. Thank you, guys. Leave a thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And if you've watched all the way to the end, why haven't you done that? Comment down below any questions you guys have for me, regardless whether it was about this topic or anything else that I've talked about, or just any random questions about myself. If you guys want to know more about me and whatever, just go ahead, leave them down in the comment section. So thank you, guys. I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.